Rest your wings.
Assassin's Creed Mirage came out in 2023 October. We have had an announcement from Ubisoft that they're going to include some free DLC for the 18th of November 2025. At the time of making this video, that is just around the corner, and I will look at it and potentially make some standalone content about the extra 6 hours of campaign material we have. But there's something else that interested me that is mentioned within this update. They are looking at slightly reworking that traversal parkour mechanic, which interests me because I feel Mirage has got one of the better of the modern Creeds. I gave this game quite a tough time over on PS5, and this video is about the PC version against that, so we will be switching out constantly. I will keep you informed of what you're looking at. At the moment, 1080 GTX 1660 medium across the board, and that gave me 60 frames per second. Enhanced performance mode, if you like. The game did want to push up further on a frame rate, but I wanted to keep it at 60 for sake of argument, plus my monitor is capped at 75. And talking of my rig domestically, it is just given up on me. I have a black screen official, which means there's something very wrong with the hardware. I am kind of distraught. I want some of you IT experts to help me in the comments. Oh, by the way, I am Couch Coot. This is some PS5 footage, and I stuck with its quality mode for the majority of the review, so I was really happy with that. I've just come off the back of Shadows as well, and some of the messaging with the mission structure and map exploration, it's sort of tried out in Mirage a little bit, which helped me understand its message a bit more. They sometimes lent on that X is in a particular area as opposed to giving you a marker, and it didn't feel too comfortable at first, but with Shadows, getting used to the idea of scanning an area and working out what's in a map section, it kind of gelled with me a little bit better when I went back to this game on PC. My PC break-in is actually almost perfectly timed because I've got 2 Sony games coming up on the channel, and I just pushed out that awesome Marvel's Cosmic local co-op game, and of course Streets of Rogue. And by the grace of the gaming gods themselves, I slid all of my recent Mirage footage onto an external hard drive prior to the GTX 1660 having a cardiac arrest. While we're looking at this PS5 version of the game, I wanted to mention that it's an SSD full-blown 9th generation Ubisoft video game. You might know the channel and my beef with Origins and Odyssey. Not really getting the 9th gen treatment, that kind of wound me up because they just patched 60 frames per second here and there, that sort of thing, when those games look incredible over on PC. Absolutely incredible. I will link those 2 videos in the description, and I will annotate because I got particularly obsessed with Origins. I think it may be one of the best AC games ever made. Now let's swing back over to PC footage. One of the first things you'll notice about Mirage is how strong its sand game is. It's Spider-Man 2 boss good. Huge sheets of it shift down the dunes when you're walking around. It's kind of quite advanced. There's barely any sand in Shadow, so that's not something it needs to worry about, and it doesn't sport the amazing foliage bending and movement that we saw in Shadows with that Japanese world, but the desert is pretty damn plantless, to be fair. But we still have some great dust and mist and swirling effects going on here. Also, the transition to the Hawk, ridiculously smooth and good. I was expecting a little bit of pop-in with that, and you don't have a Hawk in Shadows. And that's what I want to get to next, is Mirage's quite subtle changes with combat method and having different visions, be it eagle, be it through the wall. I was quite taken aback by the amount of choice I had to see an enemy from above or via that X-ray vision, but it becomes apparent that's kind of more to do with a lot of the puzzles as well as getting targeted versions of the enemy's whereabouts. Just as a reminder, we are still on PC footage and I don't have HDR switched on, and that will cause some quite bright white light over on the PlayStation 5 coverage, so just bear that in mind. Looking at this game in 2025 on PC also makes me feel like it was graphically particularly strong on its launch, and it isn't your archetypical AC map either. It's not a massive open world expanse, it's a very crowded metropolis-like built-up city area, and that also blends in with how cool the height is with the parkour and traversal. I also wouldn't say the combat was dumbed down as initially felt. It just gives a really easy kill window on the parries, but you still got those quick and fast heavy attacks on the buttons, and this one also leans right onto range a lot, with throwables being one of the main strings to your bow. I do want to talk about the game's violence and the series in general. I don't think I'm out of pocket by saying that Ubisoft has done quite a few things to us fans over the years, but not removing any of the adult gore and content from the AC games has been a real staple, and I kind of respect them for that. The camera angles look really good when it zooms in and you get this animated awesome death that may be unique to the type of enemy you've taken down or the direction that you go at them from. But as mentioned, I feel that parry window is a little bit easy to take advantage of. Brackets, I'm a Souls-like legend. You are mine!
Fight smarter.
Evisceration!
Okay, we are back over to PlayStation 5 footage here. One of the things I wanted to talk about with modern AC games and the current market is that I'm noticing that the bigger name sites and reviewers seem to sort of do quite a hot take on new AC releases. I've been guilty of it myself. They don't match up to what the previous game was, and that immediately ruffles feathers and things just fall apart from there. Then you see the renaissance of the game itself come through, and just like we have with Mirage, some new content announced, and everyone's like, actually, Mirage wasn't terrible. And I think that's exactly what's happened here with me going back to this on PC. Do we have the Gladiator nod here with the hands going down to the crops? I think that left hand is touching crop. The continuity on that one is a bit baffling. I'm just going to go with Animus.
That's a good one!
You also saw an assassination denial there from a tough enemy player. That has been experimented with in ACs before, but that is really shoved up to the front for shadows. It's kind of an integral part of your build if you're playing as that chick. Stand by, because I am releasing more content on that game shortly. And apologies, just to jolt you back here to PC footage, I did actually manage to get up this cliff on PS5. I couldn't find the rock formation or the brick sticking out, whatever it is, so I think reputation redeemed, or I did do it. And on that subject of AC games from the past that have a modern change put on them, that Syndicate thing was huge for me. Getting that 60 frames per second, that video did incredibly well. Loads of people have a lot of passion for that game, and understandably, it could be one of the best portrayals of that older London in a video game, full stop. Same thing with Far Cry 4 getting that update literally this year. Bloody thing came out in 2014. We are still on PS5 footage here, by the way, and that outfit, it's way too genie for me to be taken seriously. I did mention that in the PS5 review. I didn't actually even put it on for the PC footage. And talking of PC footage, we are back to it, and yes, this is the vintage hide in a funny little hut with curtains thing that we saw in loads of early AC games. This is kind of awesome because it is a break point for being chased or getting a large group around you. It's kind of a reset marker, and they pulled it out of quite a lot of modern games. But sticking on that outfit thing and the loot stuff, the only drawback for Mirage with me is just the one-piece outfit switch out. I loved that Odyssey, and even Valhalla to a certain extent, with having interchangeable, very cool looking armor and sets. I know this is early game and Mirage does get its day in the sun. My god, check out this violence.
Hold it there! There you are! Hey, that's it! Alert! What? Slut bag! Let's get you all fired up! Burn you to ash! Good one! Pathetic! Fought you well, but you are mine!
I did want to point out, in amongst all the garrotting, that it's got a very self-indulgent Red Dead 2-like travelling look from the back of your camel. Not as glamorous as an American stallion. You can get horses in this game, and the mounts, they're not terrible. I wouldn't say it's a major draw to the game because I love the idea of this dense city and being able to actually go from building to building. I mentioned the Valhalla sparse areas in previous videos. This does not suffer from that.
Taking down the watch's dwelling.
Calm yourself. Easy.
No, Sahib.
God curse you. Non-expected.
Asterisks unless you go out into the middle of the desert. And I think lastly, I do want to touch on another aspect that very much surprised me, and it was the music interchange, how it fits with the mood of what's going on screen or in game. It gets really dramatic, almost ambient and techno-like in places when stuff really kicks off. It's definitely worth a mention. It sticks out more, a lot more than other Assassin's Creed games.
Hey. Wait just a... Meet you!
What do you see, Enkidu?
And that was also a first for me, having the Hawk be invulnerable to airfire when you go to scout an area. I thought that was awesome, meaning I've got to do the whole thing by sight, manually. Nothing wrong with going back to basics for some old school AC fun. And therein lies the mantra for the video, I think. There is old school elements of AC games within Mirage. They're in the right place and they sort of give you that buzz that you remember when you first played the original or some of those early games. They may have mixed too much of the modern elements into it for some people, but going back to this on another system really reminded me that it's far from mediocre. And we now have this crop of modern AC games in the form of Valhalla, Mirage and Shadows, and I feel Mirage is now the second place, with Shadows sitting at the top. That game is pretty awesome. Link in description. That was the wrong clip. Hold on. Yeah, we all know what you're doing with that little clip there. The new Ghost of Yotei will feature on the channel shortly, along with some other PlayStation 5 games that we've got coming up. And of course, the Couch Co-op, local co-op, split screen Halloween special will be out well before the end of the month. I was Couch Coop. I will see you down there. And PC experts, please help me with this black screen. I know you're out there because you pull me up on everything else that I get wrong on my reviews.